Hey gang, we have the Diet Coke. I'm going to attempt to not spill it all over my bed. We'll see how well that goes. Hey guys, this is one of my favourite videos to film every year. Mainly because it takes me a year to prepare for it, basically. But I'm doing my makeup empties for 2020. Quick disclaimer before we start this video. My makeup was not normal this year for obvious reasons. I don't think I need to explain why. This wasn't an average year. So if you guys don't know what this is, basically once a year I take all of my makeup empties from the year and try and work out roughly how much money on average I spend every day on makeup. I talk about sort of how many products that I used, how like the weight of all the products that I used and things like that, just because I think it is interesting. I'm also doing this as kind of a Project Pan thing. So if you guys don't know what Project Pan is, it is a sort of a makeup, it's called a project, but I think it's more of like a makeup attitude, where rather than buying like a new foundation comes out, so you buy the new foundation even though you've got 15 unfinished ones at home, which is absolutely fine if that's what you want to do, but I think there is so much of that online in like the sort of like beauty guru community, which I am, to clarify, not claiming that I'm part of, that it's nice to have a balance of the other side of it, which is Project Pan, which is the idea that you hit pan or you finish a product before you buy a new one. My issue is that I get bought a lot of makeup. I also had a lot of makeup when I started this in 2018, so I still haven't gotten through all of the makeup that I had in 2018, and I won't for a long time. I have so many lipsticks. I did a video where I swatched them all. I have so many lipsticks. So yeah, I just buy the minimum. If I run out of something and I don't have a replacement, I will buy that, but that doesn't by any means not mean that I have a lot of makeup, because I do have a lot of makeup. I just don't buy more than I need. I might get given some. I don't count that. I am happy to receive. But I only buy things that I directly need. Okay, so we're gonna get into this. The way that I normally do this video is I split it into sections. So we have lips, eyes and face are the three main sections. So I think I'm going to do lips first. I'm going to give you a very brief review and then I'm going to talk you through the stats for that section. Let's go. So quick last thing before we start, I will link this spreadsheet down in the description. There may be errors. I'm not very good at numbers, so there probably is errors somewhere. And also if you want to compare this to other years, I will also link 2019, 2018 down in the comments as well. I think they're the only years that I've done that. I think this is the third year. So I finished 3 lip products this year. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm checking the spreadsheet on my iPad. So I finished 3 lip products this year. I finished the Always On Metallic Matte in the shade Man Eater by Smashbox, which I like. I've mentioned this before, but I very much like these lipsticks. I finished the Colour Riche 461 by L'Oreal, and I'm counting this in here, but I didn't actually finish it. So this is the Uncensored Lip Paint by Fenty. I didn't finish this. This was actually given to me by a friend who bought it and didn't get on with it. And because it's very expensive and knows that I like red lipstick, was like, do you want it? So I was like, yes, I will give it a go. So I tried it and I do not get on with it either. And the reason I haven't passed it on to somebody else is because A, it would be the third person it was passed on to, and you know, germs, but also I think there's something wrong with it. I've heard so many good things about Fenty. This smells, it rubs off so crazy easily. The formula isn't right. I think it's gone off, or there was something wrong with the formula, and obviously I can't return it because I didn't buy it, so I'm just retiring it. I'm counting it in this as if I used the whole thing, but I did not. This is almost full, but I cannot in good conscience give this to somebody else. So that is just 3 lipsticks if we count the Fenty one, which I am in this, which comes to £33.99. This was massively bumped up by the Fenty lipstick, which is £20. The Always On Matte Smashbox lipstick is also £6, which bumps this up quite a lot because it is only 0.9 of a gram, so you get hardly any product in here and it's quite expensive. I think it's worth it, but fair enough if you guys don't. But that averages out at about 9 pence a day. And also if we count the weight, that comes to 32.9 grams in total that I used this year. 4 of those grams coming from the lipstick that I didn't finish, and 28 of those grams coming from this lipstick. I don't know why there is such a big difference. I would say that these are about the same. I'm guessing it's because it's stick versus liquid lipstick, but I'm not an expert. But that averages out at about 0.09 of a gram a day, which is really interesting because that's 0.09 of a gram and 9 pence, which works out very nicely for my averages. So the next thing we're going to do is eyes. So I finished 9 eye products this year. I finished 3 of these extra 3D lash by Rimmel. I really like these. Yes, I finished 3 of them this year. I finished Master Precise Curly by Maybelline. This is an eyeliner. I also finished this Inglot eyeliner gel. This was, I think, the most expensive product here. It was £10 for this pot, but this lasted me forever, so I definitely think this was worth it. I finished this Scandalise Rimmel eyeliner. This was a pretty standard eyeliner. I'm actually not, contrary to what you probably think, I'm not that fussy about what eyeliner I use. And I finished 3 singles, so these are all, they're not actually singles, these are ones from palettes, but I depotted everything, so I now treat them as singles. So I finished 2 from the Smoky palette and 1 from Naked 2, all Urban Decay. I think. I don't actually know what palettes these are from. When I finish one I try and look it up and see if I can work out which palette it's from. I think it's from those palettes, but I'm not entirely sure. So those 9 products break down to about 35 grams in total, which is again 0.09 grams a day. These averages are working out beautifully. And altogether that comes to £47.05. £10 of that alone coming from the Inglot gel eyeliner, so that's obviously a big chunk of that, and that comes down to about 12 pence a day, which is more expensive than my lip stuff, but that makes sense because I use more eye products than I do just a lipstick. So far so good. Now we're going to move on to the last section, and that is face, and I finished 6 products with this. So I finished the Inglot face blush. I finished this number 7 highlighter, which I was given years and years and years ago and I never really used because I never really knew how to use it, and then I just said screw that and decided to like take the product out the bottom and use it like that. But I can't find any information on if this existed anywhere. I don't know why. I cannot find like evidence, like of images of it online. It is quite old, but I can't find out anything about this, how much was in it, how much it cost or anything like that, because I don't even know if it actually existed. Is this real? Am I holding a real product? Who even knows? I finished this CYO matte pressed powder. I finished 2 Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundations, and I finished a Urban Decay Quick Fix spray primer thing. It's actually tiny little bit left in here. I can hear it. Can you hear it? Such exciting times. So that comes to 190.5 grams. That sounds like a lot, but this is 118. So obviously a lot of that is coming from this because it is a liquid, and obviously this is quite a lot of liquid, and I think I've been using this for quite a while by the time I finished it. So yeah, 190.5 grams, but a lot of that came from one product, and that averages out at about 0.5 grams a day. It also comes to £56.97. Again, this took a big chunk out of that. This was £26, which is nearly half of that price just came from this alone. They do last forever and you do get a lot of product, so it's kind of worth it, but just for the sake of clarity, a lot of that £56 came from this product, and it also averages out to about 15 pence a day for my face. So let's quickly cut down to the totals. That's a total of 18 products. That is a lot lower than last year, but we are looking at averages, so I'll talk about that in a second. The total known price that I spent this year was £138.01. I'd like to preface that I didn't spend a lot of this, so the cheaper products here are probably ones that I bought. So the sort of Rimmel things and the Maybelline things and whatever are probably the things that I bought myself, because they are the cheaper ones and that is what I buy myself. The more expensive things, such as the Urban Decay setting spray or the Inglot stuff, or the expensive lipsticks, were probably bought for me. Maybe I asked for them for Christmas, maybe they were just gifted to me, or something like that. This Inglot blush, for example, I got free from Inglot when I went to a thing. So yeah, £138.01, but not all of that was spent by me. I don't really want to be spending that much money on makeup. It was probably, I would say, about maybe 50-50. I think that's probably fair. About 50-50 was me and 50-50 was things that people have given me. The total weight was 258.4 grams, which is actually more grams than last year, but again, I'll get to that in a second. So the daily average was 37 pence a day, which comes to about 0.7 of a grams of makeup on my face on average every day. That is probably higher on an actual day. Well, it probably evens out, because I don't use, I mean, look at these foundations. Like, I've scraped the sides of these. It's not going to focus on the ring light, it's going to make it hard to see, but you can probably tell that I've like scraped the sides of these and gotten everything that I think I can get out of it. But you can see that there's still product in there. There is extreme lengths that you can go to get the stuff out, but there is still going to be some left over. There is going to be some left in the bottle, there is going to be some left on the brush, there's going to be some that I take off to like redo bits of my makeup, which I don't do very often, but things like that. But on the other side of it, I'm not wearing makeup every day, which will bump that average up. So 0.7 is probably about even. I would say 0.7 of a gram is probably about how much makeup I wear on my face every day. I wear quite a lot. Well, actually, I don't know. If you guys have worked this out, do you know how much that is? I know that I have quite a lot of steps to my makeup, which implies that I wear more, but like, I tend to be pretty chill with the makeup that I do wear. I tend to not wear like really high amounts of it. So who knows? That's just how much I wear every day. 0.7 of a gram, which costs me about 37 pence a day. I think that's pretty reasonable. You could definitely get that down a lot. There's expensive products in here which bumped that up quite a lot, I think, that you don't necessarily need. Like, you don't necessarily need a really expensive setting spray. I didn't need like the expensive eyeliner and things like that. Like, you could definitely bring that cost down. The £20 lipstick that I didn't even use will be bumping that up quite a lot as well. So yeah, 37 pence is reasonable for me, but you could, like, you do not have to be spending that amount. You can definitely get lower than that. Just to compare this to last year I finished 32 products, whereas this year I only finished 18. That makes sense. As I've been going further on this project, so the first year that I did this in 2018, I had a lot of half-finished products, because I suddenly decided to do this and I was like, right, I'm going to finish all of these half-finished products. So I did, and I had a really high amount of empties. In the second year, again, I was finishing these half-finished products, so I had a lot of like little samples of things that I was just trying to get through to like just get the amount of makeup that I had like as like small as possible. And then this year it's going to go down even more than that, because again, I think, yeah, all of these are full products. None of these were little samples, none of these were like, one or two things were half finished things that I've had from years ago, but I think that was only 2 products. The rest were all like bought this year or bought like at the end of last year and finished this year. And again, it's also went down because I was wearing less makeup because of gestures broadly. So that's gone down quite a lot, which makes sense. So I spent last year £227.37. This year I spent £138 and a penny. Again, that's gone down. That makes sense. I could probably work out the average amount per product and see if that's changed, but I actually think this probably is a higher average amount per product than it was last year, but I'm not going to do the maths, and yeah. That's all I'm going to say on that, which came down to 62 pence a day. Again, this comes down to 37 pence a day. a lot cheaper, but the days I was wearing makeup went down dramatically as well. So that makes sense. That's actually quite a bigger drop than I was expecting, but yeah, it is explainable. I was using a lot more sort of high street brand stuff that I bought rather than was bought for me this year. So yeah, that makes sense to me. So last year's total weight was 222.47 grams, whereas this year's total weight was 258.4. So the weight actually went up. And I suspect that, I mean, this alone is 118 grams out of 258.4 for this year. So I suspect that the reason it went up that high was because I used all of this. I was using this in 2019. I finished this quite early on in 2020. So yeah, I suspect that big jump comes almost exclusively from this product, which takes my daily average to 0.7 grams of makeup a day. Last year it was 0.61. Again, that went up. I think it went up because of this, but it's not such a massive discrepancy that I think like this is a wild, unexplainable thing. I do think it's strange that it went up this year, but again, I genuinely just think it was because of this. So yeah, there's me talking through all of my stats from my empties this year. I have to find a way to get rid of these now. I am going to be doing this next year. I think it is quite fun. Yeah, I'm going to continue to do this, and my goal is to get through some lipsticks because oh boy do I have a load of lipsticks. I am recording this on the 15th of December. I don't think there's much of a chance of me finishing anything else this year, but I am quite close to finishing quite a few things. So I'm thinking January I'm going to end up with like a whole bunch of things straight away. So next year should be interesting, and hopefully contain more lipsticks because I have so many. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's everything. This video is quite long. I do like to make this quite long because, as I said, it takes me a whole year of collecting these in this box to make this video, so I don't mind it being long. I think that's everything. If you have any requests or questions, then leave them down in the comments. New videos every Wednesday. Like, subscribe and all that jazz, and I'll see you next week. Bye!